for Monday, April the 7th, 2025, Board of Education to order. At this time, I'd like to ask Jason Allen, pastor of Oak Grove Baptist Church, if he would come and give us the invocation.
As a proud product of Cleveland County Schools, I don't know if you believe it or not, but in 1990, proud Burns High School graduate. There's some folks in here. I just want y'all to know that appreciate the work you do and have been in the school systems for 8 years as a school counselor. I appreciate what you all do each and every day and who you represent. So I definitely want to go to the Lord in prayer, but I want you guys to know that your faith community thanks you for including us in this process. Because I know a lot of folks that have different beliefs, that's fine. But I believe the power of prayer is something that we underestimate. So thank you so much for including us. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we do come into your presence. Lord, throughout your scriptures, you're always telling us not to be worried, to cast our burdens on you, not to be troubled, to seek first your kingdom. Father, we need to do that today. We need to put our eyes on you, fixed on you, as you're guiding each and every step that we take. And Lord, also the good book reminds us that if we lack wisdom, we can ask for it, we can seek it, and we will find it in you. So as you bless the leaders and the leadership of this county that love children, love to see young people grow and reach their potential, Lord, would you give guiding hands and direction to all those that are charged with being in positions of authority? Would you be with each teacher and each assistant teacher, each administrator, each student, each person from the highest ranks to the lowest ranks that involved with the growth and bringing up of young people that will be indeed our future leaders of tomorrow, if not today. And Lord, would you just put your guiding hands through the power of the Holy Spirit on each one that serves. And may they serve with glad hearts. May they be given the energy and strength to endure all those difficult days, those long hours. And again, Father, will you just continue to guide them each and every step of the way. Thank you so much for Cleveland County Schools. Thank you for the heart that goes beyond just math, reading, and arithmetic, that goes into the heart of each individual and cares about those to see them successful. And Lord, as you bless this meeting, Lord, just again, put your guiding hands at directing each step, each opportunity that you can be glorified. Thank you so much again. And all God's people said, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor, for taking your time and coming and doing that. At this time, we have Cadet Watkins from Crest RO. That will come and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Cadet Watkins, if you'd just come right up through here and
attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
wow, we're going to have to have you come back more often. Get us going. Wow, that was great. All right, at this time, we got some special recognition. I'll call on Dr. Parker.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, Superintendent Fisher, members of the board. Tonight, I'm pleased to recognize our CCBC winners. Isn't it great to have a room full of our students behind me? We're so excited to recognize them this afternoon. Take a moment to get my clicker to work here. Ginger, if you could just advance for me. I want to start by purposefully thanking our coaches. You will see a lot of the adults behind me. They have worked really hard. We don't pay them extra, but they get a lot of second paychecks, I would say, in helping kids see success and really motivate a love for reading. So you may be asking, what in the world is CCBC in this acronym-rich world that we're in? It is the Cleveland County Book Challenge, and that first bullet is really important. It's an opportunity to cultivate excellence with elementary literacy. Before I get into the details of CCBC, I want you to look in the figure on the right. Their book list this year was on average an 868 Lexile level. That means we have 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders fluently reading and comprehending middle school level text while they're in elementary school. So when we say cultivate excellence with literacy, they're really doing that. They are being pushed by their coaches well beyond their grade level content. So a little bit about CCBC, it's two components. The first one is a competition round. They all read 13 books. These books are thick and they're tough. The students become experts in each book. I would dare say the coaches become true experts in each of those books. During the competition, which we had last month here at Central Services, the teams choose 4 representatives to represent them in a fast-paced question and answer session. It moves quickly, it's timed, and then they do that 7 times throughout the morning. They then go to lunch, which was new this year, and we added a brand new component after lunch, which is a presentation round. And we love this because it is a real life scenario, and we capitalized on your vision for us to have a common curriculum in elementary. So we chose 2 books from Wit and Wisdom, wrote a rubric that aligned to both of those books, and then the boys and girls you see behind me presented some information in front of judges in a real life scenario. Skills such as public speaking, being persuasive in thought and in action and preparation, those are life skills that we hope will serve our students well throughout their life. So we are going to represent tonight. Dr. Fisher has trophies for all of our teams. We'll start by representing teams who placed in our competition round. That's that fast-paced question and answer round. I'll call to the front here West Elementary School. They are our first place winner. And I'll just quickly, as they're hopefully shaking the board members' hands, I'll read through the West information. We have 2 coaches. They are co-coached this year by Nikki Nolan and Jennifer Baumgardner. And the team members are Ella Ellis, Kylie Little, Grace Melton, and Breland Steele.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Wow. Great job.
Thank you. And board members, if you just want to stay where you are, that might help. Our next school, Kaiser Elementary School, actually placed 2nd place in the competition round, and they also placed 3rd place in the presentation round. So to not call them up twice, they're going to get both trophies, and we'll recognize them all together. As they're coming through, shaking hands and getting their trophy, I'll read off their school information. They were coached this year by Ms. Candace Gold, and team members were Jackson Brady, Kason Clay, Haley Chavez, Roche Joan Galvez, Emma Godfrey, Amelia Lell, and Elena Jo Wortman. Great job, Casey. Third place in our competition round is Falston Elementary. I'll invite them down to shake hands. And as they're coming, I'll read through their school information. Their coaches this year were Miranda Spangler and Jamie Willis. The team members this year are Woods Borders, Jacob Elliott, Emma Gardner, Cora Giesemann, Macy Lancaster, Matthew Lowry, Olivia Lowry, and Ethan Putnam.
Congratulations.
Great job, Falstaff. Moving over to our presentation round, again, that was a brand new component this year. First place this year was Kings Mountain Intermediate School. As they're coming down, I'll share that they were coached this year by Michael Cogdell, and the team members are as follows: Annie Beam, Sawyer Benfield, Addison Blanton, Caroline Bridges, Braden Carroll, Cadence Dayton, Lane Hoffman, Caroline Holt, Carson Hovis, Moira Mahoney, Madison Smith, and Norma Thompson.
Good job.
And as we were designing the presentation round this year, we thought we had everything covered, but our first tiebreaker was tied. Our second tiebreaker was tied. We had to go 3 layers deep, and we were still tied. So at that point, we said, buy 2 second-place trophies. All right, so tied for second place this year, of which some of you saw this morning the parade at Township 3, is Township 3 Elementary School. As they're coming down, I'll share they are co-coached this year by Christy Hess and Crystal Champion. Team members are Skyland Barnett, Lucas Black, Dylan Emery,
Good job, thank you.
Anya Harlow,
Good job. Thank you.
Jaden Means, Joseph Miller, Dia Patel, and Evan Vincent.
Congratulations.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Just give him a high five.
And our other second place winner for the presentation round, is Bowling Springs Elementary. As they're coming down, I'm pleased to share they are co-coached this year by Madeline Humphreys and Lindsay Baker. Team members are as follows: Alexander Bridges, Piper Bryson, Kyrie Henry, Riley Mosley, Aiden Smith, Layla Sudduth, Mark Talbert, Abel Unitas, and Ella Washburn. Thank you so much. And again, without calling them back up, I'll re-recognize Kaiser. They were third place in the presentation round. Board members, we do appreciate your support of all of our events as we work really hard to get students prepared for middle school. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Dr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We want to continue our celebration tonight and really emphasizing the excellence that's cultivated in Cleveland County Schools by recognizing 2 of our community partners. School districts are only as good as the extension and the way we reach out and partner with outside organizations. And tonight, I'm going to talk about 2 really important organizations to our school district and the health of the work that we're doing. Both of these groups are dedicated to Cleveland County Schools, and while they may not be employed by Cleveland County Schools and everything that they do is not focused on there, they are definitely a part of Team CCS, and we really appreciate their work. Several years ago, we were approached by an organization that wanted to help Cleveland County Schools. Reached out and said, how can we help, and really wanted to incentivize our teachers and our staff members. We looked at several different options that we had to be able to highlight the things that Team CCS means and was important to them. And so together we created and had created for us an employee recognition system where all of our employees are recognized over time through their years of service. We wanted to do this to help retain good, high-quality employees. And we also wanted to have a system where we could attract employees and talent to our district by recognizing those things. Through the work and the financial contributions of this organization, Cleveland County Schools has one of, if not the best, employee recognition system in this area for school systems. Every year, at the end of the year and coming soon, we will recognize employees that have 20, 25, 30 years of service. Employees that have 5, 10, and 15 years of service also receive a gift from the school system and from this group, but also we have a special dinner for those that have 20, 25, and 30, 35, and 40 years of service that night. There's a point system where employees, because of years of service, can earn points. They can buy gifts as an opportunity to send cards and really track things that are going on in our system. It also gives us the ability as a school system, when we have our teachers and staff members that are recognized through the Teaching Excellence Awards that were early this spring, we give them points that go to this employee recognition system. So this has definitely been a system and an avenue where Team CCS has been rewarded and advocated for by an outside group. Tonight, I would like to recognize the Hospice Foundation of Cleveland County. Emily Airy is the Executive Director of the Hospice Foundation. She is here with a couple of our board members. And if you guys will come up, we appreciate what they mean to Cleveland County and the work that they do. But Emily and you and your board, we appreciate what you mean to Cleveland County Schools. You are leaders in this community, but you're also leaders in our school system, and we appreciate the work that you guys do. So I'm going to make you turn around and shake board members' hands. I'm going to present you with this, just a small certificate of our appreciation. So hopefully you can display this, and then we'll get a picture. And we just want you to know we appreciate the support that you give Cleveland County Schools, not just to us as employees, but also the students and staff that work every day with our students. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for all you do. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Hold on.
Thank you.
Yep, hold on. Keep forgetting that part.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Our next partner is one that Cleveland County Schools has worked with for a long period of time. And if you know Leslie Cobb, you know she's not going to be able to be recognized without saying a few things. Pick on her a little bit. Leslie and United Way have been long-term partners of Cleveland County Schools. Cleveland County Schools has been an integral part of United Way campaign in Cleveland County. As you know from previous years, our school district always ranks number 1, sometimes 2, but usually 1 or 2 in the nation in per capita giving. We're continuing to lead in this community of giving back to important things in our community. Just a couple of years ago, our school system won the North Carolina Spirit Award for their contributions and the ability to give back. We have a long, extensive partnership with United Way, and in part of this partnership, Leslie and I had some conversations about literacy, and I kind of prompted a little bit, and Leslie took that bait and ran with it. And as you know, later this week, we have the My Home Library project that is spearheaded and started by the United Way. Leslie will be the first one to say the United Way is not the only group. Fortunately, not only does Hospice Foundation give to our employee campaign, they were also huge contributors to the Home Library project. Our goal is to enhance what we're doing in our schools throughout our community. We just don't want to cultivate excellence in our schools, but we want that to permeate throughout our community. And what a better way to do that through literacy. Through literacy, putting books, printed text in the hands of students and families so that reading becomes a part of everyday life in every family in Cleveland County. The old adage that a rising tide lifts all boats is very true. It's very true about lots of stuff, but it's definitely true about community literacy, that we all are better when we read in our families with our students, with our children, grandchildren. Those are attributes of a successful community, and we appreciate the support of the United Way. So I'm going to present this certificate to Leslie Cobby, the United Way. And Leslie's going to come around and shake your hand in just a minute, get our picture made. But Leslie first wants to talk a little bit about the Home Library Project, their work, and recognize those folks that helped make that possible.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Fisher, United Way of Cleveland County's My Home Library Project is excited and proud to work alongside PALS, Cleveland County Schools, and local businesses to provide essential tools and resources that will not only improve literacy skills but also bring families together in a shared joy of reading. Through the impact of compassionate and giving partners coming together for this inaugural initiative, we are able to provide a home library for 2,187 first and second graders across 15 elementary schools, putting 13,200 books in the hands of Cleveland County students. And we can't do that without our sponsors, so our sponsors include Albemarle, Sharon View Federal Credit Union, Pink Paradise Wellness, Hospice Foundation, Dover Foundation, and Cornerstone Dental Associates were the partners that came alongside of us to make this happen. Together, we are empowering our future scholars, making them dynamic readers, writers, and thinkers. And so we appreciate your support and the school system support. We have been to 4 schools. We went to 2 on Friday and 2 on Monday today, and we have had just an overwhelming the principals are excited. The students were really excited. We have readers coming in from different sponsors, and the students have been interactive. They've been answering questions, asking questions. Me and Dr. Etheridge back here was fielding questions today, and it was like, man, they come up with some interesting questions and some good questions. So it makes them think about what's happening with these books and then wants to get in there and start reading and find out what happens. So I'm just thankful for the partnership that we've had. We wanted to do this. We'll continue this next year, and hopefully we'll have some other partners that come alongside us. But we're thankful for our sponsors. We're thankful for our partners and the school system. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Fisher, could you come back up just a minute, please? Dr. Fisher. Go ahead. There's a lot of good things going on in Cleveland County schools. About 2 years ago, I think it was the vice chair of the Gaston County Board of Education put together a group. It was chairs and vice chairs where they meet quarterly to talk about some things. And going to those meetings was always refreshing because it just seemed like to me they were always jealous of Cleveland County schools. How do y'all do that? How do y'all do that? And I think I told some of you they actually wanted our policy for our cell phones. But recently, I guess words got out across the state. Recently, Dr. Fisher attended the North Carolina Association of School Administrators. He got elected as president-elect of the North Carolina Association of School Associations Board of Directors and will take over that as president July the 1st. This is a testament not only of his excellent leadership here in the county, but throughout our state. I received this quote from Catherine Joyce, Executive Director of the North Carolina Association of Superintendent Association, provided me with the following statement. The North Carolina Association of School Administrators, which unites more than 8,000 schools and district leaders statewide, is fortunate to have Dr. Stephen Fisher taking the helm as president July 1st. His deep understanding of the issues and challenges facing all facets of school leadership and his unique ability to identify workable solutions and build bridges with key stakeholders, as we just seen, make him a great asset to both NCASA and his peers across the state. We appreciate the leadership role he is undertaking for the NCASA. Dr. Fisher, we want to present you with a little certificate and congratulate you on being elected as the president of the North Carolina Superintendents Association.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gotcha. We'll get just a second. Let those who want to leave feel free to do so. But you feel free to stay as well. Yeah, if you stay. All right, at this time, we'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda for confidential personnel matters in closed sessions.
So you're making a motion to include into closed session a personnel matter?
Yes.
Okay.
I second.
Madam Attorney, is that subsection 1, I believe? Yeah, what have you got for A3? You'll need to include A1 into that if it passes. Okay, any discussion? All-
Hard to discuss it if it's in closed session.
I understand. I guess we'll find out when we get there. All right, all those in favor, and we will include that in the closed session portion to include a closed session with attorney consultation as well as a personnel matter, okay? All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. That's 9-0. All right, with the add-on, Mr. Blanton. Now, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda with the added personnel issue in closed session.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right. Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Bridges and a second by Mr. Humphreys. All those in favor, raise your hand. That's 9-0. All right. Approval of minutes. Without objection, we'll do 4.01 and 4.02 together. All right, hear a motion from Mr. Bridges. Second from Mr. Grigg. All those in favor, raise your hand. All right, that's 9-0. All right, Finance and Personnel Committee Report. Mr. Ledford. Mr. Ledford, if you'll turn your speaker on. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not used to this little stick yet, so I got to get used to it. The March 26th Finance and Personnel Committee meeting was called to order by Committee Chairman Aaron Bridges. Dr. Jennifer Wampler introduced Paula Clark from Duke Energy to make a presentation and recognition. Duke Energy awarded Cleveland County Schools the Business Energy Excellence Award for our work done on recent construction and renovation projects. The work was led by Ed Richards, CCS Energy Manager, with assistance from Daniel Sherman, CCS Project Manager, and other maintenance staff. As part of this award, a rebate check for $202,278 was presented to Cleveland County Schools for energy efficiency. The committee thanked the Maintenance Department and Duke Energy for the excellent work and partnership. Folks, we don't see this often, Duke Energy giving back to the customer. So we're proud to get anything that we can, and I assure you that this money will be greatly used. Rob McDaniel shared a draft of the superintendent's 2025-26 proposed budget. The budget has some components based on the governor's proposed budget, such as his proposed 5% raise for teachers. We're still waiting on an approval budget from the General Assembly before we can complete our budget. Our state funding is based on our average daily membership from month to month of the previous year. Mr. McDaniel thoroughly reviewed the proposed budget section by section and shared information related to the planning process based on the state, local, and federal factors. The committee discussed the proposed draft budget. Dr. Wampler shared that Board Docs is changing to Diligent Community in August 25. We will begin the transition behind the scenes in May with training for the board over the summer. Dr. Wampler shared the proposed 25-26 Board of Education meeting schedule for information. The meeting schedule will go to the full board for approval in April. Dr. Wampler shared that the plan for the 26-27 calendar drafts to be brought for the full board for a first consideration at the April meeting. The committee discussed the new calendar bill that was introduced by the North Carolina Senate, which may impact our calendar drafts. Dr. Wampler shared a technology update related to ClearPass, which is a network security program that limits personal cell phone access to our network. The implementation process is going well. All high schools will be completed this week. Then technology will move to the middle schools and finish with elementary. With no new business, the meeting was adjourned. The Finance and Personnel Committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, April the 30th at 11:45 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Ledford. Next on the agenda.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, go ahead,
I got a
Mr.
question.
Blanton.
I don't know if I need to say this at finance or at educational. I've had several calls this week concerning our Title I. Are we having to eliminate Title I at some of our schools? Or is this false information that I'm hearing? I don't know if I needed to do that. Is it due to finances or go down to down to educational?
Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and let Dr. Fisher, with what he might know about that, go ahead and address that. I know it's really muddy water right now, but maybe he knows something I don't.
Mr. Chairman, there's a lot more questions than answers at this point with federal funding. In regards to Mr. Blanton's question, I'm not sure what he heard, so I'm not sure how to answer that. But there's no issue with Title I funding this year. Our Title I funding this year, we've been spending that as gone as normal as possible. Now, what happens with Title I next year, we don't have that answer. We've not received a Title I allotment. We anticipate continuing with the Title I allotment. We anticipate with those things coming and moving forward. But in terms of what happens and the specifics on that, I can't definitively answer that. Obviously, with the decision to dismantle the Department of Education at the federal level, there's the more questions in terms of federal funds moving forward in 25, 26, and beyond. I can tell you what we've heard and what the communication that's been given to us is funding will continue to come to the states and to the students. We're just not sure how that looks and what that is. So obviously, we're taking a cautiously optimistic viewpoint of looking at Title I funding for next year. But those avenues are for next year.
Okay, the question that came to me, that they had been told that we was dropping Title I at Springmore and at a school at Kings Mountain. And that was the question that was told to me. So that's the reason I brought it out. So by what you just got through saying, there have nothing been dropped, nowhere at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that information is coming from. I can tell you that based on the work that we've done recently in looking at the economically disadvantaged percentages at our schools, all of our elementary schools would be considered Title I. We're well above the threshold for Title I. It is my understanding that we cannot serve some elementary students and not others. So from a district perspective, when we serve elementary students, we're going to serve all of those. Now, the funding follows that economically disadvantaged child, so a school with a higher percentage of economically disadvantaged students would get a higher prorated share because it's based on per student. So obviously you would imagine bigger schools with a higher percentage of free or reduced lunch are going to get a bigger chunk of Title I dollars. We get an allotment of Title I money, it is. And so Cleveland County can choose to make, as many schools as qualify Title I, understanding there are some perimeters. If you think about horizontal alignment across our district, we couldn't pick and choose from elementary schools as long as they all qualified. Now, if an elementary school would not qualify, then obviously we could not characterize that Title I. So hopefully I didn't get in trouble with Dr. Parker of summarizing that, but that's, there is a formula and complexity to that of things we must do. But Mr. Blanton, to your point of elimination of Title I in some of our elementary schools and not others, there is no merit to that.
Okay?
I hope who made them phone calls heard that.
Unless the rules change, the laws change, and if the rules change, then obviously, we adjust to that. But under the current legislation and work that we're doing, Dr. Parker, I will put a plug in for Dr. Parker and our elementary team, as well as our finance and human resources folks. I mean, that Title I budget is a challenge. It's a bear, and that's really a good collaborative work that happens between instruction of what we're doing with that Title I, finance being able to appropriate those funds correctly, and then human resources making sure we're doing the right things for our personnel. Our Title I budget is heavy in people, which we believe are really difference makers in our schools. But it's really a collaborative effort that work really hard with our Title I budget. So usually by this point, Mr. Chairman, board members, we have a planning allotment for that. We usually have planning allotments for everything. And unless Rob got it on Friday, we do finally have some state planning allotments, but we just received those, but no federal planning allotments for next year.
Thank you for the update, sir.
Thank you.
All right. With no other questions, we'll go on to the personnel report. Do I have a motion to adopt the personnel report? Mr. Bridges made a motion to adopt the personnel report. Do I hear a second? By Mr. Humphries. All those in favor, if you would, raise your hand. That's 9-0.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Would it be possible, you don't have to come to my, would it be possible that we can get the personnel report during the personnel committee meeting? I know you say that it's not a full report, but could we get what is available?
Hey, is your mic? I can't hear.
Yeah. He's just asking.
No,
the
it's off
personnel
again.
report during the committee meeting. Dr. Fisher.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we can do whatever the board wants to do in terms of that. So the short answer is we can. But if we give you a personnel report a week and a half before the board meeting, there's a lot of stuff that will change between that and over the next week. Especially, not as much maybe this time of year, but especially over the summer and the beginning of the year where we're hiring people all the time.
Understood.
Yeah, we could, those are options that, we'll be glad to do that in direction of the board. The other thing is, obviously the personnel list is confidential, so in a committee meeting, we would have to make sure that is sent out from a confidential standpoint. And also, just something to think about. Again, I think this is a conversation the board can have and give us direction, is, I feel uncomfortable giving it to just the people on the personnel committee and not giving that to everybody.
Well, we used to get it, didn't we used to, all of
Yes.
us get it at one time?
It's loaded on board docs on Tuesday or Wednesday the week before.
What I think, let me make sure I'm clear here. Mr. Lefford would like to have, at the time of the committee meeting, what personnel he has at that point.
Yes.
What Dr. Fisher is saying, that will change possibly from the time the committee meeting to the time to the full board. We do
Understood.
get the final one, but this is going to be what I would like to do is, Chairman Bridges, if you guys would address this at the next Finance Committee and come bring a recommendation to the full board.
I'm not able to get the personnel report pulled up the week before. I'm not getting it pulled up on my iPad at my house. I cannot get it until I get here on Monday. And I haven't seen any of the personnel report until Monday.
Okay?
If that's the issue, I mean, it's because you're not logged in. If you log in, when we post that agenda, if you log in, the personnel reports and executive content. And I know sometimes you've told me before, you have problems logging in.
Well, and I didn't get logged in today until I got
Okay,
here. She
all right,
had to
all
log it in.
All right, yeah, we're getting off track here just a little bit. Mr. Blanton, if you would, get with the technology folks and find out what the problem is. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole in the meeting here. And
Okay.
Committee Chair, if you and those on the committee would bring a recommendation to the board on what to do with the Personnel Committee. And then that way, we'll just do it that way. You're on the Finance Committee, is that okay with you? All right, let's move on. All right, next is Safety and Operations. Mr. Spurley.
The March 24th Safety and Operations Committee meeting was called to order by Chairman Walter Sperling. Dr. Fisher provided a school safety grant update. We received $355,000 in the safety materials portion of the grant. Unfortunately, this is only 30% of our request to cover safety equipment, services for students in crisis, and training for staff. We are working to spend this money by the deadline of June 30th, 2025. We received some information on another safety grant that we are also working to apply for this spring. Daniel Howell, the new Chief Security Officer for CCS, gave a school safety update. He shared his work with the schools and SROs over the past couple of weeks. Ginger Jackson shared the Vivi renewal quote, which includes renewal of Vivi Pro subscription and related hardware and software. The renewal amount is $76,069.40. We will pay for this out of the school safety grant. The committee discussed the Vivi renewal quote and unanimously supported the renewal, which will go in front of the full board tonight. There were no agency reports. Dr. Jennifer Wampler and Chip Childers shared the capital projects report. The committee reviewed the report, which will be attached on the board's agenda for tonight. Dr. Wampler and Chip Childers shared bids for 3 summer projects that are more than $75,000 and require board approval. The first project is a HVAC unit replacement at Kings Mountain High School on the band and chorus hall. The recommendation is to accept the lowest bid from Digital plus 15% contingency for the total amount of $145,000. The committee discussed this project and unanimously supported this project, which will go in front of the board tonight. The second project is a roofing project at Burns High School over a portion of the classrooms on the 100 Hall, Media Center office, and hallway area. The recommendation is to accept the lowest bid from Gutter Guys plus 20% contingency for a total project cost of $119,994. The committee discussed this project and supported the project, which will go in front of the board tonight. The third project is a roofing project at Crest High School over the dining and cafeteria areas. The recommendation is to accept the lowest bid from Gutter Guys plus 20% contingency for a total of amount of $122,470. The committee discussed the three projects and supported these recommendations, which will go in front of the full board tonight. Jamie Courier shared child nutrition's summer feeding program plans. Summer feeding will begin June 2nd, 2025, and will run through August 1st, 2025 at Kings Mountain Intermediate School and Turning Point Academy. Both of these sites will be open daily for all CCS students for a hot lunch. Additionally, Child Nutrition is offering meal kit pickups for all CCS students at Burns Middle, West Elementary, and Shelby Middle School 2 days a week. The meal kit pickups will be in 3- and 4-day kits. Dr. Fisher shared the proposed 2025 and 2026 Board of Education meeting schedule. This will be shared with all committees prior to coming to the full board for approval tonight. Dr. Fisher let the committee know that the 2026 to 2027 calendar drafts will be brought in front of the board for a first consideration at tonight's meeting. After the meeting, calendar drafts will go out to the public for comment and review. Dr. Fisher shared that he received a request to purchase property attached to one of our school sites. Staff nor the committee are interested in selling this particular property, but are willing to listen to proposals. Dr. Fisher shared that our technology department is in the process of rolling out ClearPass, which is a network security program that limits personal cell phone access to our network. The process is going well. With no new business, the meeting was adjourned. The next Safety and Operations Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 28th, 2025 at 11:45 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Spurling. Yes, Mr. Blanton?
Yes, I'd like to talk about those bids just a second.
If you will give me, you want to talk about the school bids or the Vivi?
The bidding on them roofs,
All right, if you'll let me get through the Vivi, then I'll give you the floor.
okay?
All right? I will entertain a motion to approve the renewal of the Vivi proscription and related hardware and software at the price of $76,069.40. It comes from committee. No need for a motion or a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? It's 9-0. All right, let me read this. Motion to approve the lowest bid for the Digital Plus 15% contingency for the amount of $145,000 to replace the HVAC units on the band and chorus hall at Kings Mountain High School. This comes for committee. Does not need a motion or second. Any discussion?
Not on that.
Not on that one, okay?
Now, do we get, I noticed we're only getting like 1 or 2 bids on these things.
No, we got, I think if I remember correctly, it was given out to 6 or 7. 4 returned the bids, and
That's
we
on
took
the
the
roofs.
lowest.
That was on the roofs.
Is that not on the HVAC bids
I
for
don't know
Kings
about
Mountain
the
High School?
HVAC.
So the HVAC, Chairman, HVAC listed in board docs on the Kings Mountain HVAC project, it lists Digitrol, Pate Heating and Air, PC Godfrey, and Dakin.
Just 4.
That's 4.
So that's 4. Dakin declined to bid, so you had 3 good bids.
How do we choose those people that the bids are sent out to?
It's open to the public,
That's what I was wondering.
right? And so, Dr. Wampler,
There is,
Mr. Childers?
there is a bid process
Yeah.
that is in policy. Dr. Fisher, if you want to come up and explain that policy, it's in our manual.
I think the answer to the question is, I mean, there's only so many groups that can do this specific work. This is not something that you know, just anybody can do from an HVAC perspective in dealing with the systems that we have already. So from experience, people who've been involved in the bidding process for this, we know who does that work and do that. I would say if there's somebody that does this kind of work and wants to be added to that, then definitely let myself, Dr. Wampler, or the best contact would be Chip Childers to do that. We want the lowest bid, obviously. If there's people that do that specific work, we definitely want to know that.
So we send these bids out to these different companies, is that correct? Or do we post it and the companies bid on these projects?
I think in this particular situation, we send that out to companies that we know have done similar work like that and are in that work market.
Mr. Childers?
Good evening. How are y'all?
Good.
In this situation, we used a HVAC engineer. And everything was run through him. He solicited the bids based on people who've done work in our system before.
Who sent it out?
Craig Champion, his company.
Is he an engineering company or
Yes, sir.
what?
It's MSWG out of Charlotte. We've used them. They did the auditorium projects. We used Craig Watt, and he solicited those bids.
Okay, based on my experience, I've just noticed that we've had a lot more people or a lot more companies that were bidding on projects than what I'm seeing.
3 years ago, we couldn't get any. So I think that the roster of contractors that we got for that project, they're all top notch.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. Any more discussion on the Kings Mountain HVAC? If not, all those in favor? Passes 9-0. All right. I'll entertain a motion for the Burns roofing project. Lowest bid plus 20% contingency by Gutter Guys Incorporated for the total project of $119,994 to re-roof the portion of the classrooms in the hall on the 100 Hall Media Center offices, hallway leading to the commons area at Burns High School, is recommended by Safety and Operations. Does not need a motion or second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Blank.
I think we need to postpone this to a later date for the simple reason that we had several people to put in bids. Matter of fact, there was 3 withdrew their bids. They were 3 within a few thousand of each other, then 1 70 to 100,000 less. For a $200,000, I'm going to use round numbers, for a $200,000 project, you're not going to have a company to be $100,000 less. If it was $1 million project, you might see that. But when you're just talking about a $200,000 to $225,000 project and then somebody bid $100,000 less, that can't happen if you're figuring apples for apples. Something is not getting figured there under no circumstance for them to be that much difference between the 3 other companies that did bid when they was that close. They were fairly close together because I believe we had a statement to come back to us after our committee meeting that there was a mistake on one of the bids and they raised that bid up, so that I'll have to go back to my phone, but we did get a thing, but still, when you're talking about a small amount of money, 200,000 is a lot of money, but it's a small amount when you're talking about doing a big job. And they're, you know, anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000 difference in the price. That's not possible if you're figuring everything for apples to apples and on the warranties and stuff like that. I'm not going off on the company. I'm just talking about, I just don't feel, by me being in construction my whole life, that's just not realistic.
Mr. Chairman.
Let me say something first. And I'm sure Mr. Childers was maybe getting ready to say this, but this bid was very low, and it caught Mr. Childers' attention. Mr. Childers called him back and said, "Are you sure?" Because it caught your attention.
Twice.
He called him twice, and because it was so low. My opinion is, we owe it to the taxpayers to pick the lowest bid. I mean, if they're wrong, then they signed the contract, they're on the hook for the contract. And if we go back and rebid.
We don't need to discuss this out here, what I need to say.
Well, hold on just a minute, please, I have the floor, okay? I think we need to not rebid this, because what if the bids come in $100,000 more? Then we've just wasted money. But that's just my view of it, is if he hadn't have called him twice to say, "Look, you sure you didn't make a mistake?" I would have issues with it. But he's called him twice. Mr. Sperling, did you have something?
Yes, so there, no company withdrew their bids.
Yes,
right?
three.
We had,
We had three to withdraw the bid.
three declined to bid.
That declined.
They declined to bid, okay.
There was a reason behind that.
And so there were there were four bids. And this one did come in significantly lower. They were contacted twice. They were offered the opportunity to withdraw their bid in case they made a mistake.
Yes.
And they said, "Nope, we're good."
I want to emphasize something right there.
Oh, wait, just one minute,
Yeah.
Mr. Childers, are you through?
No, just let me make one more comment. And no company was allowed to rebid.
That's what, no.
Yeah, you said somebody was able to change their bid.
No, she sent a notice out.
No company was allowed to change their bid. This company did have the opportunity to withdraw their bid, which would have meant they would not have had the opportunity to do the job at all. But no company was allowed a chance to change a bid. I just want to emphasize that.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Explain one.
Mr. Childers, did you have something you wanted to say?
This company, Gutter Guys, they're based out of Kings Mountain. They've done, over the past 7 years, close to $1 million with us. One thing I want to say with all our projects, we don't just put contractors on the job and leave. We're there every day. And this is my wheelhouse. This is what I did for a living. And after talking to Mr. Thompson, the president of the company, I'm good with it. If he's good with it, I'm good with it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Go ahead.
What is the warranty on this?
20 years.
20 years. And who does their work? Do they do their own work, or is it contracted out?
No, sir, they got their own crews.
Okay.
Matter of fact, they just did one for us right here on the dining room for TPA.
I'm just a little skeptical about the difference in the pricing. I was not in a large construction company at any point in time, but I was in business for 30 years. And any time that I went out to bid, if there was a significant difference in the bids, you know, there's something that's being left out somewhere.
Well, and I will say this also, the company the manufacturer that they bid is Duralast Roofing. I personally put on Duralast Roofing for 25 years. They are a top-notch company, they stand behind their warranties, and all of their contractors have to be vetted and certified. So I have no qualms whatsoever with them doing this job. Now, if he does the job and he loses $100,000, that's on him. That's not on us.
Mr. Childers, could you explain the warranty?
Just a minute. Mr. Spurling.
I just wanted him to reemphasize
Okay,
what he
all
was
right.
talking about with
All right.
him, with the warranty, because
Please let me recognize, okay, I'm trying to give everybody an opportunity, okay? I'm not, nothing against you.
I just didn't want to keep going and
I'm
that
wanting to get
point
this
be
done
there.
as quick as you are, but I want to give everybody a chance to speak.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Oh, go ahead.
I'm not sure that you can tell us, was there any discussion, or can you tell us as to any statements that were made as to why their prices might have been different from other people, like lower? I mean, did they say something to you directly, like, I'm doing it for this because of this, like, materials are cheaper, or, I mean?
No, those materials are definitely not cheap.
Right.
The only statement I got from Mr. Thompson was, I reviewed my numbers and I'm good. I'll stick with what I gave.
Yeah, my only comment is, honestly, out of anybody sitting up here, I've probably been involved in more dollar-wise contracts than everybody else put together. Mr. Childers followed the exact same procedures the state of North Carolina follows when doing that. If you have an outlier bid, you go back to the contractor, you go through it line by line with them, you make sure if they're happy, the taxpayers are happy. So that's all I got to say about that.
You have anything, Mr. Fisher? You have anything? You're good? All right, one more time, then this is going to be it.
All right. Is he tearing off or is he gonna lay on top?
That's a tear off.
It's a tear off. Okay. Mention about that rebid. Nobody rebid it. I think there was a mistake on a number. Is what, it needed to come out. There was a mistake on the numbers and it had to be added. That was on our account, not.
That was my mistake.
It wasn't somebody else rebid it. I wanted Mr. Spurling to understand that there wasn't a company coming back in and rebid it.
That was a misread on my part on tab one's bid.
Right.
But they still were not low.
Right, they wasn't low. It went up and that made those
No, it actually
three
came
companies
down.
closer together.
It actually came down. It actually made it a little bit more competitive. But that was my mistake.
All right, Mr. Spurling.
So again, would you please explain the warranty that the company, the installation company versus the product company?
Okay.
Thank you.
How commercial roof warranties work, the first 2 years is a total coverage by the contractor. This requires a 20-year bid. The next 18 years is covered by the manufacturer. Now, there's a whole list of we don't cover this, and most of that has to do with structural movement. But other than that, and, you know, I can supply you a list of what's not covered and, you know, that whole thing, acts of God, stuff like that. But other than those stipulations, the manufacturer covers it for 18 years, an additional 18 years, which that gets us to the 20-year warranty.
Can I continue? One more. So, and also, the companies that did not bid, it's my understanding, at least a couple of those companies, it was because of the warranty. Is that true?
Yes. One of the contractors, and I'm not going to name names, could not get their manufacturer that they're qualified for to put on, they would not warranty the number of penetrations that we'll have with all the new HVAC support legs. They would not warranty that. The other contractor did not give me a reason from the manufacturer, but they just said they wouldn't cover it.
All right. I will say.
And the third one was the Gastonia sheet metal, and they pulled out, said they couldn't get to it. They were already booked for the summer.
I want to say this, because I'm not going to get into discussion again. These same folks did Crest. You're going to have the same issue. So anymore, I mean, the bid was obviously low with the next one we're going to come up with. So is everybody got what they wanted to say, because we're not going to have any discussion next. I want to get it all out now.
We are checking these people out. I know we've used them, but we're still checking with other customers of theirs on what kind of job they are doing, correct?
Yes, and we also have used them recently, so I go on what I see. It's like I told you, Mr. Ledford, when we put contractors on the job, we don't leave them. Mr. Sherman, myself, or if it's an HVAC project, our techs are on the job every day. And I'm on, if we got major projects, I'm there every day. We do not leave contractors by themselves.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sherman. All right. I'll call for the vote on the Burns High project. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those opposed? 1, 2, 3. Passes 6-3. Crest High, to approve the lowest bid plus 20% contingency by Gutter Guys for the total amount of $122,470 to roof the cafeteria and dining room areas at Crest High School. Comes from committee. No need for a motion or second. We've had plenty of discussion. All those in favor? That's 6. Opposed? 3. 6-3. All right. Education programs report. Ms. Sherman.
Excuse me. The March 25th Educational Programs and Policy Committee meeting was called to order by Committee Chairman Ron Upfries. Dr. Stephen Fisher reviewed Policy 1510, School Safety, which was given to the board for a first read in March and will be up for approval at their April meeting. No feedback or changes were requested. Dr. Fisher led in a review of policies 6135, head lice, 6140, student wellness, 6145, concussion and head injury, 6200, goals and organization of school nutrition services, 6220, operation of school nutrition services, 6225, free and reduced price meal services, and 6230, school meal and competitive food standards. These policies were reviewed and discussed as part of the committee's ongoing review of the board policy manual and are in the 6,000 section, which is student support services. No changes were recommended to these policies by the committee. Dr. Fisher reviewed Policy Regulation 5030, R1, application and contract for non-school use of school facilities. An update has been requested to include a question about the need for Wi-Fi. The committee was in support of this update, and it will go to the full board for a first read at their April meeting. Rhonda Benfield shared a CTE update. Mrs. Benfield highlighted the upcoming Making It Work event and the Create a Spark Award that has been granted to 3 Cleveland County school teachers for creative classroom projects. Dr. Jason Parker provided an elementary education update. He highlighted CCS involvement in the Literacy Summit, the work on the My Home Library program, and Book Challenge event. Dr. Parker also shared his department's work in grade span meetings for teachers across all grade levels and schools. Wendy Fitch shared an exceptional children's update. She highlighted an upcoming school-based enterprise spring sale involving students in occupational studies. Mrs. Finch also shared that the Cleveland County Schools GET program, which stands for Growing Excellent Teachers, is open for new applicants. Dr. Anita Ware shared an update from ESL on testing and enrollment. Dr. Ware also shared an update on alternative education and highlighted their work to add health services for TPA students through the Golden Leaf Grant. Paula Peeler shared a pre-K update and highlighted the recent screenings completed for pre-K students for enrollment in the 25-26 school year. Dr. Chris Bennett provided a middle school education update. Middle schools have recently completed check-ins and are working on using the data to improve instruction for the remainder of the year. Dr. Bennett highlighted that behavior referrals are down by 30% in the middle schools. Ginger Jackson shared a technology update related to ClearPass, which is a network security program that limits personal cell phone access to our network. The process is going well. Mrs. Jackson shared an update related to recent technology conferences and our work for the summer conversion from Power School to Infinite Campus. Dr. Brian Hunnell provided a high school education update. He highlighted competitions, testing, and upcoming awards and events. Dr. Hunnell also shared an AIG update and work on our 3-year plan. Dr. Fisher shared the proposed 2025-26 Board of Education meeting schedule. The committee reviewed the schedule and recommended that it go to the full board for approval in April. Dr. Fisher also shared the 26-27 calendar drafts, and that will be brought to the full board for a full consideration at the April meeting. After the meeting, calendar drafts will go out for public comment and review. With no additional new business, the meeting was adjourned. The next Educational and Policy Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 29th, 2025 at 11:45 a.m.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Next is the approval of Policy 1510, which is School Safety Update Policy. Does come from committee. No need for a motion or second. Any discussion on that policy?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Humphries, does this include my request that I had for visiting schools, board members visiting schools?
That's not part of this policy.
Okay? You told me last month that one of the policies that was read had the visitation of board members to schools.
It was brought up and there was no discussion. No one wanted to talk about it. I mean, the committee's right here. You're welcome. I mean, not now, but you're welcome to. I would say that the lack of interest would indicate that everybody's happy with it. So.
All right. Policy 1510, School Safety. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's 9-0. Next is for a first read, information only with no action. It's going to be, if you have any questions, please contact the superintendent or Mr. Humphries. It's the application for non-school use of school facilities regulations. It'll be up for vote next meeting. Next is Board of Education meeting schedule. Does come from committee. No need for a motion or second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's 9-0. Summer 2025 testing revisited. Does need a motion and a second. Dr. Hunnell, are you going to give us a little bit of information on this?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Fisher, thank you. We are revisiting the policy that we brought to you in the fall and was approved The reason being DPI last week changed the game a little bit, which allowed us to increase our flexibility, which we're very excited about. DPI has opened up, instead of us only being allowed to retest and remediate after the end of the school year, they have opened it up to the end of the school year, the last 10 days. So this is definitely a help to our students, give them a second shot, as well as us to a chance to increase our proficiency. So why are we bringing it to you tonight? Obviously, they let us know Thursday that they're letting us have some increased flexibility, which we would like to ask for, and the plan is actually due before May 1st. So the short time frame is why we have it. So again, we come to you tonight for just an increased flexibility to give great opportunities for our students to remediate and test prior to the end of school year.
Okay, thank you,
questions?
Mr. Hunnell. Any questions for Mr. Hunnell? All right, I have a motion from Mr. Bridges to approve. Second. I have a second from Mr. Spurling. All those in favor? That passes 9-0. Dr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just a couple things real quickly. We do have a 26-27 draft calendar, several draft calendars that we will make public after tonight. You've got a copy of those 3 draft calendars. We've discussed this. This is not for 25-26. This is for 26-27. If you remember our 25-26, next year's calendar is already approved in place. This is for the following year. There's lots of conversations about school calendar. There's several bills out there, but it is important for us to go ahead and move forward to look at next year. Many of our families, when they go on vacation this year, will make plans for next summer, so we want to have a calendar for the following year. As we've done in the past, we've created 3 options. You've got those 3 options. I'll quickly run through these 3 options. Option 1 is an early start, August start date. You can see the highlights there from the number of work days before students start, the start day, the work days during the school year, the last day for students, the total student days, total work days, number of holidays, number of annual leave days. Teachers must work 215 days. Students must have 1,025 instructional hours. So 178 student days definitely gives us 1,025 instructional hours. For ease of conversion, you can take the number of student days, and this calendar would be 178, multiply it times 6, and you would get the maximum number of instructional hours we have. That's about 172 hours in that round right there. So we do have some days flexibility for weather if we have that. Option 1 follows the calendar law as written, with the exception of the start date. All other areas that calendar follows the school calendar law. Option 2 is a late August start. You can see the difference there. In the third column, the start date would be August 24th in option 2, and first semester ends in December. The challenge with option 2 is that the semesters are unbalanced. If you look at option 2, first semester is a lot shorter than second semester. This really manifests itself for problems in the high school, whereas first semester would be 8 to 10 days shorter than second semester. Option 3 is again a late August start, which is August 24th, and first semester ends in January, mid-January. If you roll back to 2018, 2019, prior to COVID, this was a calendar that was used, and it's widely not popular because of exams are taken the semester ends in the middle of January from a student's perspective. You can see that by and large, these calendars are very similar. The work that's done by Dr. Wampler and our calendar committee is high level in terms of putting this draft together. There's always, obviously, different things you can do in moving days. There are certain things from our perspective and the feedback we've always gotten is that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is, we want, folks want that Wednesday off before Thanksgiving. Everybody wants 2 weeks at Christmas. We like, spring break tied to Easter and to have either Good Friday or Easter Monday off, depending on which one's not in spring break. This year, spring breaks before Easter, so we have good Easter Monday off, which many times spring breaks after Easter, so we have Good Friday off. Those are things that are really important. Our folks have traditionally liked to starting that on Wednesday. Having a short week that first week, get students really acclimated. Staggered start kindergarten helps that as well. Again, so where we go tonight, we're not asking for any action tonight. Basically, after tonight, we will post these 3 calendars and this information that you have on your on the board docs on your version. We'll post that for public view. We'll also poll and get people to give us their input. They can make suggestions and those type of things, and gives us the option to come back in our May board meeting with some data that says our community prefers this, and here's the suggestions for our community. If you remember from the calendar law, it does require the board to get public input, and this is why we do this. So this is an initial kickoff for this tonight, based on conversations that we've had over the last several years with the calendar, and then we'll put that out for public consumption, review, feedback, and bring you that information in May for hopefully a decision at that point. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that you may have. You've got those 3 versions, and we will put those on our website probably tomorrow to give folks an opportunity. We hope that people will really respond to that. We'll send a call message to all of our families as well, letting them know that this information is out there. Mr. Cherry will put that on social media as well for people to drive people to that, give some input there. We usually get a couple thousand responses to that.
I would encourage all the board members to call all you people you know and tell them to give input on these, which calendar they prefer. But any questions for this one for Dr. Fisher?
One question. Dr. Fisher, has the House voted on the calendar law yet? I knew the Senate had passed their version, but I understood that the House was going to have a different version. Have you heard anything about that?
So, Mr. Ledford, I do not believe the Senate has passed that. I know the Senate has a proposed calendar bill out there to give school districts some flexibility. It was, received in lots of different ways. For us, it's workable, very workable. There are a couple suggestions that we've made to that. So that's out there. There are a couple different calendar bills out there, but there's one that was pushed out by some of the Senate leaders in terms of what that calendar bill looks like. What we have been told, and what I was told last week when I was in Raleigh, the House is going to respond with their version. And I'm assuming at some point, if there's enough support, those get passed in their respective chambers, and then crossover, and then who knows what happens there. But it does that. There has been a lot of conversation around Senate bill. I can't call it, start with a 7, but
575, wasn't it?
Whatever it was. There's been a lot of conversation around the state about that, both in a positive and some folks with concerns about that. But we'll see where that lands. But it has not passed the Senate yet, so it's not crossed over into the House yet. But I don't know if it will or if that was just an attempt to bring attention to some options there.
I'll go ahead and say it. He can't say it in a public meeting, but was it an attempt to hush people? So, was it an attempt to hush people? I know Dr. Fisher's professional and he will not say that, but I don't mind saying it. But anyway, continue, sir.
So we got to try to answer any questions about the calendars. Our folks have done a lot of good work. We've been a lot of positive feedback on the last 2 years. This calendar is very similar to what we've had the last 2 years. Obviously, when you're in the middle of it, there's always some tweaks you can make. But the calendar law, which you have a copy of, really defines what you can do, what you can't do. This is, in my opinion, it got a very solid calendar, an okay calendar, and then one of these options is not a good calendar for students. And I think that's the direction we have to do is what's best for our young people as we look at all the options for our students. So again, we'll post this online. In the meantime, if you have any questions or any information, let us know. Mr. Ledford, you brought up a good point. If something changes with the calendar law, then obviously we're ahead of the game enough that we can we can tweak this. It doesn't have to be approved in May, but we can approve a calendar, and this is 26, 27, so if the law changes, we could always choose to revisit this. But for planning purposes, we need to give our families a running head start for making their summer plans.
All right. Was that your update as well?
No, sir, I have a couple things. Update. Just a few things. It has been a busy couple of weeks. I think over the last couple of weeks, there has been an event every day if you wanted to go to it. Between honors chorus, between robotics, between battle of the books, between making it work, we have lots of things going on, which is great. It's great to be busy. I was reminded yesterday at church by somebody that that old saying that idle time is the devil's workshop. And so we can't say that around here. We've got lots of stuff going on. Just a couple pictures. These are pictures from Making It Work. Students really getting a bird's eye view of what's going on in the manufacturing world, with some competition stuff, with having conversations with business leaders in our community about manufacturing and job opportunities. Robotics was a great competition here last Friday. You can see the intensity on these young people's face as they get their robot to do right. There's one picture I didn't include it here, but it looks like a young person's about to pull their hair out because obviously the robot is not doing what they want to, and it is stressing that young child out. But that's a great day to see kids excited about robotics and their robotic runs, also about their team building activities, the presentations they do. This is one of our best robotics competitions that we've had. We had a conversation about that in a meeting earlier today about the high quality of work that our young people are doing. Two other events. The one on the left is the Cleveland County Student Art Show. It was a great event last Thursday night to highlight student art competition. We will have the winners of that student art competition here at our next board meeting. The turnaround time was just too quick to get them here tonight, but that was a great night. And then on the right was 5th grade career fair, and not every day do you get 3 of our 4 high school coaches working a table together and just showing the collaborative work that goes across there. Shelby coach wasn't in this picture, but you have the head football coach from Burns Crest to Kings Mountain Inn manning a table together, really encouraging these young 5th grade students at the career fair. So as you can see, a lot of this work drives around post-secondary preparedness, the work that we're doing with our students to make sure they're successful, not just in school, but later in life. And then I forgot we had these last 2 pictures. On the left is a picture from Cleveland Community College. This is a CTE group. Again, firsthand, on the job with real people, real employers, having conversations with our students about preparing them for post-secondary. This is right outside the Walter Sperling building. Walter Sperling's classroom, not the Walter Sperling building. I snuck up on Mr. Sperling the other day in class, and he was working hard again. He was teaching away, so good for him. And then on your right is K-Day. A couple weeks ago, this is the James Love team welcoming folks into K-Day. Lots of smiling faces as they're preparing to receive our upcoming kindergarten class. I think I updated you on my Friday end of week updates, and I think the number was about 850 kindergartners already enrolled, which this time of year, that's a good thing. If you look at our enrollment, we average plus or minus about 1,000 students every year. So we encourage folks, if they did not come to K-Day, they have not registered their kindergarten student, to go ahead and do that. We do want those students registered so we can make plans for them. Just a couple upcoming events. Science for a Day was on this campus today. Dr. Hunnell was running around out of breath. He didn't have his coat and tie on, but he was running hard today, making sure that everything went well for Science for a Day. We had about 150 or 200 students on campus today, and we'll have another big group tomorrow for Science for a Day. If you're free, you want to stop in, really doing some cool activities and STEM activities. The My Home Library Project, you've heard a little bit about that already. You're probably tired of getting emails from me about reminders about that. I'd love to see you at Beth Ware Elementary School at 9 o'clock on the 9th. I've sent out emails about parking. If you could help me and park as far away from the building as you feel comfortable walking, so some of our guests that need to park closer can get there. But we're expecting a big crowd and a great event that day. Spring break, I think most people are excited about that. When I see folks, they're excited about spring break just around the corner. We have this week, and then spring break starts the week of Monday, April 14th. Extends through Easter Monday on the 21st, and students return to school on Tuesday, April 22nd. It's hard to believe that the end of school will be just about a month after that. So we are honing in on top of that. That gets us a week or so out. The big event moving forward, where the Senior Scholars Banquet on Thursday, May 1st. Dinner begins at 5:30. The program starts at 7. We're just about to the point of scholarship donors. If folks want to donate to that scholarship and want to be a scholarship donor, they need to notify us soon so we can make sure that Ms. Hooks gets you in the program and gets all that documentation done. So we're ready for a big night on Thursday, May the 1st. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fisher. I do hope all board members got a chance to click on the CTE link that Dr. Fisher sent Friday. CTE is one of my passions, but there was a lot of good stuff in that. Some schools getting some certifications, some licensing, and maybe in one email earlier, there's something maybe we're going to be doing with the hospital. So there's all kind of good stuff. So I hope you was able to click on that link and read it. At this time, it would be public participation. Mr. Bridges, would you read our rules for public participation, please?
Public comment should not address any specific confidential student or personnel matter. Specific concerns related to confidential student or personnel matters should be directed to the superintendent or designee. Comments must be relevant to the matters that are within the authority of the board. Speakers shall refrain from personal attacks or threats directed towards staff, elected board members, or members of the public. Speakers shall be courteous in their language and presentation. Insults, profanity, and use of vulgar language or gestures or other inappropriate behavior are not allowed. The board vests in its chair or other presiding officer authority to terminate the remarks of any individual when he or she does not adhere to the rules established above. Any person who willfully interrupts or disturbs a board meeting may be directed to leave the meeting by the presiding officer. Any persons who refuses to leave may be prosecuted for disrupting a public meeting. Persons appearing before the board are reminded as a point of information that members of the Cleveland County Board of Education are without authority to act independently as individuals in official matters. Immediate answers are not generally possible and must be deferred pending investigation and consideration by the full board.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. I have two here. The first one I'm looking at is Mr. Rob Powell.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I would like to distribute a resolution entitled Making Cleveland County Schools a Safe and Welcoming District, and I'll speak to this resolution during my remarks. With your permission.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Leffert, can I depend on you to take one and pass like we did in history class? Right on down. Thank you. And I think we might need I think we're good. That's right. Good evening, Chair, members of the board. My name is Rod Powell. I'm a retired educator, and I'm a proud resident of Cleveland County. I'm here tonight because I care deeply about the safety and dignity of every child that walks into our schools. We all know that students can't learn when they're afraid, and right now, some families in our community are living with the real fear that immigration enforcement may show up where their kids are supposed to feel safe. I've spoken with parents who worry every morning when they put their child on the school bus. That's not how public education should feel. Under federal law, Plyler versus Doe, every child has the right to attend school no matter their immigration status. And the Department of Homeland Security says schools are sensitive locations, meaning that ICE is not supposed to conduct enforcement on campuses unless there's an emergency or if they have a judicial warrant. But policies aren't the same as protections. Right now, Cleveland County has no clear public protocol on how to handle immigration enforcement requests. This leaves staff uncertain and families vulnerable. Tonight, I'm asking you to consider a resolution that makes 3 simple commitments. First commitment, that Cleveland County Schools will not collect or share immigration status unless required by law. Second commitment, that ICE agents must present a judicial warrant and go through superintendent and legal review. Third commitment, that staff shall receive training and families will get clear information, especially in multiple languages, so everyone knows their rights. Friends, this isn't about politics. It's about protecting kids. It's about making sure that every student can come to school, focus on learning, and feel safe. We're a county that values fairness, compassion, and the power of education. Let's live up to that. Please consider this resolution. Our students are counting on us. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Next, I have Mr. Paul Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the school board, Dr. Fisher, for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm a resident of, my name is Paul Ledford, and I live in Kings Mountain. And I'm a graduate of Cleveland County Schools, graduated Kings Mountain a few years ago. My children were there, my grandchildren went there. And you know, all of you know me from the Republican Party, but I'm here tonight to talk as a father and a grandfather and a friend of the school. So, first thing is I want to object to some of these pushes that we've been getting from the liberal left, particularly last month on the LGBT, and I would encourage you to stay strong. These atrocities cannot go unchallenged. Mr. Powell just talked about people being scared. Well, sometimes they have to be, because they keep pushing these liberal agendas onto our kids. So, additionally, I'm requesting that you resist any other items that come up like this. Continue to fight. Don't give up. Let's get our schools back to a Christian-based organization, because let's face it, we are the majority. So we can do that. And let's emphasize how important to the kids. Let's emphasize how important this country is and all the liberties that we enjoy. Now, taking Pastor Allen's comments a step farther, I've been in management for just about all of my adult life. And I've learned a lot of things, and we can apply some of those principles here. It's critical that the way you present things to the public. So, I would challenge the board to do your homework in these committee meetings. You can fuss and fight all you want in them, but when we come out here, I hope that you can present a unified front. That's what people need to see to gain more and more confidence in this board. So, lastly, I've been in numerous school board meetings. I hear a lot of complaints, but I'm here to tell you now that I am behind this school board 100%. Every one of them, 100% plus. So, as a manager, and that includes Dr. Fisher. So, as a manager, we were always taught to praise in public and critique in private. I'm going to say that one again. Praise in public and critique in private. So I promise you, if I have a problem, I'm going to come to you privately so that we can discuss that in the back room. So I want to challenge the group here, the public and the audience, who's going to stand up and join me in supporting the school board? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ledford, for your comments. Next on the agenda is board comments. If anyone wants to take a couple minutes and say something, we'll do that. Okay. All right, Mr. Bridges.
So first, I don't want to say it's cold in here. I was hot earlier, but I'm about to freeze. I'm shivering. No, had an opportunity this past weekend to go to a local organization that helps our students with food. Feeding Kids of Cleveland County. If you've never heard of it, I'd recommend that you look it up. They do a great job of feeding meals to our students, and I just want to commend them and what they do, and I'm going to be looking at getting more active with that organization. Had a school visit today at Township number 3. They got a lot going on, but the teachers and the staff and the principal, I just want to commend them for the job that they're doing to work on progressing the school. They showed us their game plan this morning on how they plan to continue to improve the school, and I think they're doing a great job. And I just, as always, want to say thank you to our teachers and staff, and appreciate what you do. And we're coming down to the end of our school year here, and just hang on. It's almost there for you to rest, but just thank you for what you do, and thank you for all you do for our students.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Mr. Spurling.
Just like to say congratulations to the CCBC students we saw tonight. If anybody has doubts that we have excellent teachers and excellent students, that should clear those doubts. As explained today, the process of that competition is something I would not even want to go through. So they've done very well. I'd also like to say thank you for our partnerships with the people, hospice and help me, United Way. There you go. And it takes partnerships like that to make the whole county work, but it shows the investment that our community is making into our school system. Without that investment, we're just an entity by ourselves, but apparently there's other businesses and organizations that believe in our school system and partner with us to do great things within our community. I'd also like to congratulate Dr. Fisher on his election, on his being elected. And I'd like to point out that shows his willingness and our school system's willingness to reach beyond our borders. We're just a small dot on the map. If you look at even North Carolina, we're just a small dot that has to work in unison with other school systems, and if you want to put your ideas out there, the way to do it is not to bang on the table and stomp on the floor. The way to do it is to do things like get into a leadership position like that and show a good example that people want to follow. You can't make people follow you, but they can see the benefits and see the good things happening in our county, and they want to follow. So congratulations on that. Not only to you, Dr. Fisher, but thank you for leading the way for our school system. That's it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Spurling. Mr. Black.
Well, I went to a few ball games this week. I went to Kings Mountain, and we need to keep one child in our prayers. He got hit, pitcher throwed a fastball, was down it, and I know the kid didn't mean to hit him, but he did, and it broke his jaw in 2 places, and he's got quite a few screws in his jaw. He had a pretty long surgery the next day, and doggone if he wasn't at the ball game on Thursday night, supporting the rest of his team, sitting there in the stands, and the next thing I know, he was getting up and walking down toward the dugout. Well, he needed to have been going down there to that dugout with all of that jaw the way it was. They done all the surgeries from the inside, so it really didn't show a whole lot from the outside, but it broke his jaw in 2 places by my understanding, and broke some teeth, and but he bounced back. So then I had 2 days that I worked with some sale group and North Shelby children. That is my heart and soul, our special needs kids in this county. I can't do enough for them that I want to. But then I decided I'd feed them pizza on that second day. They just absolutely they just overdone themselves, and they were really good. Then today I had a school visit down at number 3, and it was went around and they showed us what they is accomplishing down there. But I go back to my sale group in that North Shelby. Folks, we've got something in Cleveland County when it comes to that nobody else has got. If they got to prove it to me if they beat us in any stepping ground when it comes to that. So I have to come out with a little bit of negative. I've praised so much. I got an anonymous letter at the last meeting about maybe me asking too many questions and fussing and stuff. Well, I want everybody in Cleveland County to know that I work for them and every last child. That's the reason I ask questions. That's the reason I bring up what I bring up, because I work for you. Y'all are the taxpayers. Y'all pay our way. Y'all pay for these schools. And I want your money to be spent at every dollar spent the very best way. And hey, that cheapest price, hey, I don't have a problem with it. But sometimes it's not always best to go with the cheapest. You need to remember that. It's not always best to go with the cheapest. But I can promise anybody that we give a bid to, if Danny Blanton has got anything to do with it, he's going to hold somebody accountable. Everybody should be held accountable for what they do, even myself. So ever who wrote the letter, if you cannot put a signature on it, you can leave your signature off. And if you got something to tell me, tell me. If you want to call me, my cell phone number is 704-477-7188. I will still keep you anonymous. But you might join with me asking questions after me and you talk, son. Thank you.
Mr. Blanton?
Well, I'm not a very good speaker here, but I'm going to go ahead and read from my notes. I did have a school visit today, and it was down at number 3, and it was very impressive. The school was well organized, and the principal, Mr. Bridges, talked to us about some of the situations they have there. One of the things that was brought up was the fact that the 4th graders there, their math grades are the highest in the county, and I thought that was pretty good. Number 3 has some challenges, there's no doubt. I don't know if people in the county know just how much poverty we have in Cleveland County, but we have a good bit. Mr. Bridges showed us the chart, and it showed just about how many of the children in his area were in poverty-stricken areas. And, poverty affects kids in a lot of different ways. With them, when the bell rings at 3 o'clock, they may go home and not have any parent there to help them with their education. Their education ends at 3 o'clock. They may not get anything to eat until the following day when they come back to school. I did a little bit of research on some test scores, ways to increase test scores in our school system, since we have do have some schools that are having some problems. Two of the items that kept coming up was exercise and nutrition. It said that if kids have exercise and nutrition, their test scores are anywhere from 17 to 20% higher. To the staff and the teachers in Cleveland County, I just want you to know that I'm available at any point in time. If you need me to volunteer in your classrooms, I'll be more than happy to do that. I appreciate everything that the teachers are doing. I think we're doing as much as we're allowed to do. And I also went to visit the Feeding the Kids organization on Saturday and was able to help deliver food to families in need. And this food was given out this past weekend so that these kids will possibly have enough food to get them through spring break while they're at home. If you're not aware of how much poverty is in Cleveland County, you might want to go to Feeding the Kids, sign up and volunteer, and go with them one weekend, because we have a real problem in Cleveland County with that. So we do have a lot of good things going on in Cleveland County, as you saw tonight, but we do have some things that we need to work on, and I'm hoping that we can get that done in the future. And let's not take things for granted. And, you know, when we keep saying that everything is great, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. It doesn't make it true. We have some of the most educated and talented teachers in our school system. With our schools that we have that are low performing, we should be utilizing some of these teachers to help us put a plan together to bring these other schools back up to grade. So I'm hoping that in the future we can get this done. I know we put in a plan to have lead teachers, but we need to work on a plan, and I think the public needs to know the plan. I think the parents would like to know the plans. So, but our visit was good today, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here and staying with us, and all the support. I'd like to also thank all the people that work for the school system. I know you work long days, what you do to support the schools, and I certainly appreciate that. And I also wanted to commend everyone that got awards tonight. The Battle of the Books, I was fortunate enough but right before Graham School closed, I was able to work in their media center, and I was able to be a coach. So I really learned how challenging those books are. They are very challenging. I mean, thick books, and I think you said 868 Lexile level. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Lexiles, that's pretty high reading, and especially for elementary students. You're looking at middle school and higher levels there. So that those students are to be commended, as well as the coaches. I'm excited about our plant operations, Chip and your team. It's not every day we get a rebate for that much money, so you're using our funds wisely, and I think that's to be commended as well. Thank you to the community partners. We have lots of community partners, but especially the United Way that we recognize tonight, the Hospice Foundation, and I am so excited about April 9th coming up in a couple days, and the books that we're going to put into the homes and the families so we can support literacy in Cleveland County. And with that, I'll turn that over to anyone else. Thank you again, and I certainly feel honored that I'm able to serve on the board and represent you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. All right. I'll just have one thing to say. Friday, I believe it's Friday, I came to the Title I Parent Advocacy Council, and the place was packed. Mr. Grigg, I don't know if they listened to you or not, but you said parents get involved. They were involved. There was 16 tables there with every elementary school, and each table was full. So the thing, I stood at the back, and the two ladies that presented, I guess that's what you call them, came up to me and was just bragging. They were from the North Carolina School of Science and Math, which is a very prestigious school, but just bragging on our folks and bragging on our teachers, and they've been working with some of our folks in the past, and that's always good to hear when you're just standing there. But again, that was something to see, all those parents that were showing up. So good deal. With that said, Mr. Bridges, do you have a motion to go into closed session?
I do. Make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318A. 3 for consultation with attorney for NW versus CCS and MK versus CCS, and also 143 section, or 3118 section 6 to consult with our attorney regarding a personnel matter.
Have a motion by Mr. Bridges. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Blanton. All those in favor? It's 9-0.